He was emperor of Rome, yet his life was filled with tragedy. Marcus Aurelius buried several of his children. He was betrayed when a trusted general declared himself emperor. A deadly plague swept across his empire, killing millions, and war pressed in from every border. Most rulers would have broken, but Marcus stayed calm, disciplined, unshaken. How? He followed a set of Stoic laws he wrote in his private journal. Lessons powerful enough to survive 2,000 years. And today, we'll uncover his 5 strongest laws and how you can use them in your own life. Law number 1, master your emotions. In 175 AD, Marcus Aurelius faced one of the greatest betrayals in Roman history. His most trusted general, Avidius Cassius, declared himself emperor while Marcus was still alive. Imagine the fury most rulers would feel. Humiliation, rage, the thirst for revenge. Many would have answered with blood, marching on Rome, crushing every supporter of the traitor. But Marcus did not. He remained calm. He wrote to the Senate, urging them not to panic and not to spill unnecessary blood. His restraint made him look steady while Cassius appeared reckless. Word spread quickly through the empire. The Senate stood firm with Marcus, and the people still trusted their emperor. Cassius's rebellion began to crumble under its own weight. Within months, his own officers, seeing no future in his cause, turned on him and killed him. When the news reached Marcus, he did not celebrate. He mourned that Cassius had not lived long enough to be forgiven. He pardoned many who had followed the traitor, refusing to let cruelty stain his rule. By mastering his emotions, Marcus not only preserved Rome's stability, he proved that real strength is the ability to conquer yourself. As he wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Law number 2, control what you can, ignore the rest. In 165 AD, disaster struck Rome. A plague carried back by returning soldiers spread like wildfire, killing millions. Entire towns emptied, farms lay abandoned, and panic shook the empire. Even Marcus Aurelius's co-emperor Lucius Verus fell to the disease. An ordinary ruler might have been consumed by despair, but Marcus did not waste himself on what no man could stop. He turned to what remained in his hands. He secured the grain supply to keep his people alive. He steadied the Senate with calm leadership. He reinforced the borders so Rome's enemies could not strike at its weakest moment. By focusing only on what could be controlled, Marcus held an empire together while death raged around him. As he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Law number 3, turn obstacles into opportunities. For years, Marcus Aurelius faced relentless invasions from Germanic tribes along Rome's northern frontier. Villages were burned, armies clashed, and the empire bled money and men. To most rulers, it would have been only misery. Endless war, far from the comfort of Rome. But Marcus refused to let hardship consume him. He believed that even the worst trials could be turned into strength, depending on how you chose to face them. In the mud of military camps, surrounded by death and uncertainty, Marcus began writing the words that would become meditations. What should have been only his lowest moments instead gave birth to one of the greatest works of Stoic philosophy ever written. His private reflections, forged in hardship, became the reason we remember him not just as an emperor, but as the philosopher king of history. Sometimes, the greatest achievements rise from the darkest times. As he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Law number 4, remember death. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire on earth, yet he could not escape the one power that conquers all: death. He buried children he loved. He lost friends, soldiers, even his co-emperor to plague and war. For the emperor of Rome, every triumph was shadowed by loss. Most rulers would have broken under grief. Marcus did not. He made death his teacher. In his journal, he reminded himself, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Instead of fearing the end, he used it as fuel. Each moment mattered more. Patience became easier. Justice became urgent. Time became precious. Death was not his enemy. It was the reason his life carried weight. And that is why, 2,000 years later, his words still burn with clarity. Law number 5, lead by example. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome, yet he ruled not from marble halls, but from the mud of the frontier. During the brutal wars against the Germanic tribes, he chose the soldier's life. He slept in tents. He marched in the cold. He faced the same hunger and danger as the men he commanded. Other emperors ruled through fear, demanding loyalty from a distance. Marcus earned loyalty by standing shoulder to shoulder with his men. They followed him not because they had to, but because they wanted to. In Meditations, he wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And that is what he was, a leader who carried the burden first, so others would follow. Not a ruler demanding obedience, but a man whose strength made others stronger.